on his naughty list. Art will make his own Christmas. Art will make his own Christmas on the Universal backlot, the place where the choo-choo tram is going. And all Art's naughty friends on the Universal choo-choo tram will be sorry that they didn't let Art have his Christmas. They will be really sorry. See them run. See them scream. Because Art the Clown loves Christmas. Art the Clown loves Christmas a lot. All right. All of that artwork is done by our very own Lucas Colshaw. He does all our character illustrations. Give it up for Lucas Colshaw. So when you get on the tram, the tour guide's gonna warn you, like, hey, you guys hate how it, and let's just ask you guys this question. Do you hate how every year it seems like Christmas comes earlier and earlier? I mean, it's not even like Halloween and they're already stacking all of the Christmas decorations. They've moved out the Halloween stuff. You have to listen to All I Want Is for Christmas Is You like 24/7 on the radio. Well, there's one guy at Universal who loves Christmas so much that he wants every day to be Christmas. And then we reveal Art, and he's fully decked out in his Santa Claus suit. He's sitting at his table in his cozy little living room with his hot cocoa and his Christmas cookies, and he's bought this present, and he wants to give it to you guys. Except when he opens it up and he pulls it out, it's the freakiest doll you've ever seen in your entire life. And the tour guide has to break it to Art and say, Art, you know, I'm sorry, you're just too early for Christmas. And as the video says, this makes Art sad, this makes Art mad. He grabs his snow globe off the table and he shakes it furiously into the camera, and we do this beautiful snowflake dissolve into the storybook that I just took you through. And then when we come out of it, Art is just seething. He is pissed. And he's holding the baby doll, and he's gesturing to all of you, and he's doing the cutthroat gesture, and then he rips the head off the baby doll and drinks its blood. And when the tram pulls up, he's waiting for you. He's standing there in the middle of the road. He looks something like this. He's got that baby doll head in his hand, but he's totally bummed, and he's just staring at you, giving you this signal. Behind Art is his Christmas house. It's all decked out. Look at what I did there. I thought you knew what you were saying, didn't you? You're wrong. Murdy, take that. So the Christmas lights are just kind of sadly sputtering away, and it's this really kind of sad scene. But then out of the portal comes two of Art's friends. And a little pale girl. And the little girl takes the severed head away from Art, and Vicky hands Art a brand new chainsaw. And now he's happy. He's jumping up and down, he's so excited, and then the music starts in. Do you know what that is? So that's and that's what we're doing. We're applying all of these classic Christmas archetypes and putting them in the world of Art the Clown, okay? So these are our Nutcracker characters, our freaky ballerina, our Nutcracker, the Rat King, and they all come out with chainsaws, and now Art is thrilled, and all of a sudden the lights change, and it all becomes Happy Christmas, and they fire up those saws, and they chase you to the next zone, which is Art's Christmas tree farm. Here's the portal for that. I thought you knew what you were doing. And you were wrong. But this is a full-service Christmas tree farm. It's not just looking at a Christmas tree. They have a motto. We slice them, we chop them, we trim them, we top them. So Art, Vicky, little pale girl, their cut bodies are open, they're ripping out the intestines to string the tree. Little pale girls ripping heads off of people to use as the tree topper. And it all coalesces in an amazing Christmas tree display. With Art's little helpers helping them along the way. Okay, I'll tell you what it is. You ever seen Christmas Vacation?
Oh, yeah.
You know when James Clark Griswold tries to point in the tree? Yeah. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so the Bates Motel is being transformed into the 12 Sleighs of Christmas. And it's basically like a Christmas party, like a themed Christmas party where everybody dresses up, but it's being crashed by Art the Clown. So we're redecorating the whole Bates Motel. Every door alternates red, green. Vicky is doing some damage to this snow bunny that she stabbed multiple times with multiple different knives. She's taken this dude on the naughty list and cracked his head open like a walnut with a vice. And little pale girl has jammed an icicle into that poor elf dude's eyeball, and she's taken another one and shoved it through the girl's cheek. And then Sienna Shaw makes a cameo. So this is our snow angel version of Sienna, and she has a chainsaw showdown with our clown. That takes us to our next location, which is Art's Christmas Cafe. Food is a big part of Christmas every year, so we have our maitre d' Art and his two sous chefs that are preparing all the lovely food that you're going to be eating. And in the kitchen and in helping work the restaurant, we have the Christmas ham and the Christmas turkey. One thing I noticed last year, we had all these arts all running around the park, and I know a lot of you guys wanted to get a picture, right? We wanted a picture with Art, but it was like a Pied Piper trying to keep up with him. He was just jetting all over the park. So we're going to do that for you this year. Our Halloween sign. You can have the decision at that point in the experience where you can get in line and get a picture with Art for your Christmas card, you know? That takes us up to the entrance to War of the Worlds, which is held for the holidays. This is going to be totally UV.
Oh, what?
This is some of the artwork we're creating. And this is where we bring in snowmen, although they're more like Clockwork Orange snowmen. Like this. And then we come into War of the Worlds proper. You know, that's the thing with Tram, right? This is what? My 21st year doing Horror Nights. 20 years, because you can't really count COVID. I mean, I count it, but you guys can't. And there was one year where we didn't have Tram, so I guess 19 years of Tram. Every year we sit down to design it, we always have to face this reality, okay? There's a Bates Motel, there's a can't move, and there's a plane crash. So we had to figure out why there's a plane crash in this particular concept. So we thought, what if Art had like a World War II flag gun, right? And what if little pale girl is like his spotter? And they're listening real carefully and we hear, oh, 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 Merry Christmas. And then they just open up on Santa, right? And you hear, oh no! And then it's like, you know, a plane in World War II. Big explosion. And then he's also taken out the Polar Express airline that delivers all the presents. He's taken them all out with his flag gun. And we're going to get into Christmas kills. So these are all the different people who live in the town, all being murdered in horrible ways. And then we're going to bring some other Christmas archetypes to life, like Jack Frost and the Snow Queen. And this is a new one. This is called the Christmas Death Angel. So basically we mashed up like the idea of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, like the ghost of Christmas future with like a Victorian angel. We have the rounded figures. We also have a still walker one as well.
Oh shoot.
And as we get closer to the end of War of the Worlds, we start encountering all these freaky toys that have escaped from Santa's workshop, like our wind-up monkey and our fruity-looking bear. Still walking Nutcracker. And at the very end of War of the Worlds, there's a big Christmas, chest overflowing with body parts, and Art has his naughty list, and he's checking to see if any of you are on your naughty list. And then once he does, from behind the big toy chest comes these freaky dolls, a male and female version. And then that finally leads us to Art's workshop, which on the outside looks just like Santa's workshop, so it's like, gingerbread house.
Oh wow.
But when you get inside, like Hart's Workshop. And there's all these different departments, there's all these different doors, like dismemberment, decapitation, disembowelment, and that's what they're doing for Santa's course. Sorry, Santa. And that's Tram. But wait, there's more. I have a special guest. All right, let's give it an even louder welcome to Spencer Charles from What's up, Midsummer Street?
So, it is a horror and a pleasure for this beautiful Midsummer Street panel to announce that we, Ice Nine Kills, are creating completely original music for the Tram Song on the Cloud. Favorite Christmas jingles into the most violent, vicious, ink-filled death metal you've ever heard. Are you excited?
For years, a lot of you guys in social media have been like reaching out and going, you should do something with Ice Nine Kills. You should, like, there's this guy, his name is Spencer Charles. You should, I've known you for years. Actually, we're trying to figure this out backstage. Do you remember when we first met, Spencer?
First met in person,
It was like a video.
It was a video call, yeah. And it's just such an honor to be up here with this guy. Give it up for this legend. And, I always do more nights, so to get to create something for you guys is incredible. And
yeah. So like last year, I was talking to Spencer when we were doing all the stuff with Art the Clown and the opening ceremony. We're like, hey, can we use the song from Terrifier 3 to be part of our opening ceremony? So that was like the baby step, you know? So this year when we started working on Tram, I was like, I know you're on tour and everything, I don't know if you have time, but we're doing this cool thing starring Art the Clown, and it would be great to take like classic Christmas songs, right? Like ones you all know that you've grown up with, and give it the Ice Nine Kills twist.
we've been having some fun with those lyrics, my friend. I can't wait till you hear what we've done to songs like Joy of the World. It's going to be a lot.
Do you remember the first time you ever came to Oregon's?
First time I came, man, it's been a wild ride. I remember loving Halloween. We did Halloween 4 House, and I actually was lucky. I was working with Dread Central at the time, and I got to interview people on the carpet and talk to Daniel Harris from Halloween 4 and Dwight Little, the director, and also I remember I was on the carpet, and they told me that I was going to interview some people from Halloween and whatnot, and then some guy came up to me. He goes, oh, by the way, you're going to interview a Slash. I said, when? In about 15 seconds. So I get my shit together, and I think Slash liked me. I like a good impression, but for us to follow in, Slash's footsteps, I know he's done so many events for you guys, music, so it's an honor to be up there with Slash.
If you had to well, first of all, how many of you guys like Ice Nine Kills? I know we talked about this early on. I think a mutual friend, Lewis Kovacs, introduced us. Like, it was pretty early in your career, but like, if you had to describe to the people, like, what is Ice Nine Kills all about? What is the Ice Nine Kills brand? Like, how do you see your place, particularly in horror?
Well, for me, Ice Nine Kills combines two of my favorite things in the world: heavy music, punk rock music, with horror. And it's to me, it's trying to find that perfect bridge between both, and they're so synonymous with one another. They're both counterculture. They're against the grain, and it's just stuff that I've worshipped since I was a little kid. In that theater, watching scream for the first time when I was 11 years old and getting the goosebumps by hearing, the killer talk about Michael Myers and talk about Jason Voorhees. And it's just always been in my blood. And now we're ready to shed some blood. Halloween Horror Nights. Right? Absolutely.
One more question before. Hey, would you guys like to hear? Let me ask Spencer one more question. Like, was Halloween like your favorite holiday when you were a kid?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you remember like
More so than my birthday.
Do you remember what you dressed up as a kid for Halloween?
Pretty funny. I was about maybe 6 or 7 years old when I first saw Halloween, and I became obsessed with the character of Michael Myers. So I got the jumpsuit, I got the Michael Myers mask, I looked in the mirror and I was just like, only 4 feet tall. So I remember, I was like, Mom, can I borrow your high heels? So I put electric tape around her high heels so it didn't look like, Michael Myers was wearing high heels, Michelle Myers. And I walked around the neighborhood like almost every day in October.
Like not on Halloween? Like,
Yeah, I thought it would be scarier if you look out your window and it's like October 2nd.
Yeah, that would be scary, all right.
But now in retrospect, I was probably only about 5 feet tall with the high heels, so I don't think anyone was very threatened.
What? Sorry, you're driving around with them.
Aside from Tram, is there anything you're particularly looking forward to this year for Halloween Horror Nights 2026?
To me, Hellraiser has always lent itself to this incredible aesthetic. Clive Barker. I don't know what the hell's going on in that guy's head, but he's scary.
I do. I know him for a while,
Yeah.
too.
But, a guy like that, not only created Hellraiser, but also Candyman, of course, the Tony Talk, for Tony Talk.
Yeah!
So I can't wait to see what you're going to do with that property.
Yeah, that one is one we've been waiting for a very long time. It's one of our white whale properties. We're so excited to finally have the rights to do it, working with Clive, and I think it's going to blow everybody's mind.
I can't wait, man.
All right, AV team, we're gonna.
Joy to the world.
Is it all right if you want to hear Joy to the World? Do you want to hear Joy to the World or what Spencer and Ice Nine Kills has done to Joy to the World? You guys sent me this track and I was like, oh my god. I mean, Tram is going to have the most intense, music score it's ever had in its entire history of existence. But if you're cool, you ready? You guys want to hear it?
Yeah!
Okay, let's do it.
Joy to the world, now more hath come, the dead reality. Joy to the world, now more hath come, the dead
I always like doing that kind of cannibal corpse style vocal pattern. Combining, the juxtaposition of the happiest time of year with death.
Yeah, it goes. They're doing a whole bunch of tracks for this. It isn't just one track. They're doing Christmas Tree,
Bells?
Carol of Bells, Nutcracker Suite, Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies. I mean, it's a lot of music. So I wanted to personally, while I'm up on stage, thank Spencer. We're thrilled to have him. Thanks for stopping by,
Thank
man.
you guys, and thank you guys for telling John and telling how important us to Universal that you wanted us to do, because we couldn't do without you guys. Thank you so much.
Well, what do we do now?
Announce Parisian choir.
Announce more?
Parisian choir.
Announce something else? What else can we possibly announce?
Original house. Parisian.
By the breaking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes.
Parisian. Parisian choir.
Time for a short history lesson.
The big house. Remember by the Mel Steiner.
Credit where credit
Like
is
by the
due.
plaza. The
I
big,
didn't
the
grow
one that
up
looks
with
burned
these stories, you know. It wasn't part of my culture. But you guys came up for years saying, have you heard about La Llorona? Have you heard about El Cucuy? That really fired my imagination and the imagination of everyone Halloween Horror Nights. So since 2010, with a couple of breaks, we've been really focusing every year on doing a special Latin American. We just came off the Monstros trilogy. And I picked that suit up on this stage last year and we're like, it's done, this is the end, this is the final act of the trilogy. And then the event opened. And it was this huge hit. But I made a promise, so it is done. Yeah. So we had to come up with something new, and I should mention and give credit to, there's a group of people at Universal Studios Hollywood. They're my colleagues that work on Horror Nights. They come from all different backgrounds. Some have a heritage in Mexico, others Latin America, like South America, Central America. They represent a wide spectrum, and I always meet with them before I do anything that's going to have Latin American content, because I took 2 years of Spanish in high school, and that was like 40-something years ago. So they're a huge help to me, not only with translation, but just making sure that everything we do is authentic. So I did want to recognize those folks and say thank you for all of your because we got something new for you. This is going to take some explaining. It's like I need a priest because this thing just keeps advancing without me actually touching anything. But it's cool, leave it there. Because it's not often that I can go back and go, oh, I remember the exact moment of inspiration when an idea came to me. But I can with this. And it was a long time ago. It was 2018. I was hanging out with that dragon, up there on that balcony at City Walk. And I was just kind of standing there, lost in my thoughts. And down the street, I saw this procession. And it was this young girl in this amazing, elaborate dress. Kind of like a wedding dress, right? And then she had a whole group of girls with her that were all in dresses, kind of like bridesmaids. And there was a whole group of guys, and they were all in matching suits, kind of like groomsmen. And I was like, what the hell is that? So I started like, well, there's no way. I stopped them. I went down the escalator and I was like following them and trying to figure out what it was that they were doing. Because again, I did not grow up with quinceañera. How many of you, well, let's start with who've had a quinceañera? Okay. How many of you have attended a quinceañera? Good. How many of you have no idea what we're talking about and are completely lost? Oh, couple. Okay. All right. Well, for you, that handful of people, that are a little bit lost, it's time for a short cultural history lesson. And this is all part of the research that I did and talking to all of my different colleagues. But there are essential elements to a quinceañera. In essence, what it is, and you guys keep me honest if you disagree with me, because these things, everybody has different opinions, but it's the celebration of a girl's 15th birthday, and it's pretty much the transition from childhood to adulthood, right? And it has lots of things that tend to be in common, although your quinceañera might not have had this, so don't get angry if it didn't. But there's generally a court of honor, right? And that's the girls called damas, and the boys called chambelanas. What my pronunciation is? Woo! Is that right? Oh, my Spanish teacher's gonna be so happy if she's still alive. Probably not. That's the court of honor. There's the gown, el vestido. It's the formal gown worn by the quinceañera. There's usually a tiara and a scepter, and that represents her newfound responsibility. There's the la entrada, which is her grand entrance that she makes to the party. There's typically a candle display, 15 candles, one of her life. There's something very unusual, doesn't exist in my culture or a lot of other cultures, but it does in the culture of quinceañeras, and that is the presentation of the last doll. And it's supposed to represent, this is the last doll you're ever going to receive, because now you're transitioning from a child into a young woman. Along with that, there's another tradition, that is the changing of the shoes ceremony, changing usually out of flats into high heels, because again, you're transitioning from childhood to adulthood. Of course, there's food, music, dancing, there's a formal toast, and there's a cake cutting ceremony. And that's just some of the elements involved in a quinceañera. So I took all of that, and I went, okay, if I was making a horror movie, how would I take all of those elements, put it into the stew, stir it around, and see what comes out? So you guys always ask me, all the time on social media, can we see an example of a treatment? Okay, well, here you go. This is an example of a treatment. This is a treatment for quinceañera, and it's two main things. So on one side you see the description, the narrative that I write. So I write that narrative as if I'm you guys. It's written from the guest POV, as if I'm going through the scene. It's everything I see, everything I hear, everything I smell. Sometimes. And on the other side, that's like a technical breakdown of elements. So you'll see talent, hand props, scenic, graphics, props and decor, static figures, audio, video, lighting, special effects notes. I'm trying to capture every single thing that's going to go into the scene so that our team knows what they're going to produce. And then all of that goes to my longtime partner, my art director, production designer. Give it up for Chris Williams! Draws his conceptual ground plan, and then Chris and his staple of production designers do all of the elevations for the sets. I showed you some of the elevations for Tram. By the way, those are all hand-drawn. Artists, production designers are working with film, television. They come and work for us every year for Horror Nights, and then once that's all done, then it goes into the computer. Everything's to my hand. But the first thing I do when I'm writing a treatment is I write kind of like the elevator pitch, as if it was a movie, and then I flesh that out into what I call an executive summary. So I'm going to actually read this to you to give you the setup for what this house is all about, and then I'm going to let you hear something. Would you like to hear something else? Okay. So the Fiesta de Quince Años, more popularly known as quinceañera, is normally a time for 15-year-old girls to celebrate their rite of passage from childhood to adulthood, and all the people who made that journey special. But not for Lola.
Poor Lola.
This troubled orphan with a dark and tragic past is planning a quinceañera unlike any other, a festival of death designed to take revenge on all the people who have